7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Butter B. Rocker.
You are now tuned in to Butter B Rocker on Transparency Talks Podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, Butter B Rocker. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. But before I bring on my special guest with an S, BBR Indie Films is in full effect on February 26th. It's our 8th BBR. It's already a sold-out event, but we do have room for vendors and sponsors still available. So you can go to www.bbrindiefilms.com. We also will be announcing all of our panelists for our March 12th event that's coming up. Tickets are on sale. Tickets are already being sold. Y'all already know it's going to sell out. Y'all already know we're going to announce some great panelists because that's what we do. So make sure that you go ahead and get your tickets. Don't wait too long. And tomorrow is the last day for submissions for the March 12th event. So if you have a short film, 20 minutes or less, you can go to www.filmfreeway.com/BBR Indie Films and submit your film. Tomorrow is the last day for submissions. So that's it. That's the news. Without further ado, I want you guys to help me welcome to the stage the stars of Blended. Hold on, guys. Hello.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
How are y'all?
Good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Doing
So
great.
excited to be here with you. It's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to speak to you all. Can you guys? I know that y'all are the stars of Blended, which is a new show that's coming out series. Can you guys individually introduce yourselves? Let's start with Ranelle.
Okay, so I'm not really a star, but I'm like the writer, director, one of the producers, and we have the best stars right here. I love these guys, and I'm so happy that they're like part of this project and, brought my creativity to life. They made it happen. Yeah.
I do want to say this. They wouldn't be the stars of it if you didn't write it. So.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's
Right.
a good point. So.
The snaps for that.
Snaps for that. Okay. And Miss Chelsea?
I will just follow up and say Ranelle is an exceptional writer and has written many projects. I've worked on 2 of hers so far, but got to read a bunch more. So she is so much more than just like the lady that's here to hype us up, but that is just a testament to her character.
Aww.
So my name is Chelsea Gilson. I'm an actress. I also write and direct and do all those things. But I play Sydney Wallace in the television series Blended.
Okay. And Troy?
Yes, and I second that, what Chelsea just said. Ranelle is such a gifted writer, and also a director as well, because she can, sometimes you see people who write, but they can't really direct. They can't do, usually are 2 different people, but she can kind of bring that vision to life. And that's like a very valuable skill, and it's rare, from what I've experienced in this industry so far. But my name is Troy D. Williams. I play the role of Ty Washington, and had a ball working on this set, and looking forward to shooting a full season.
Okay. So let's get on to it. What is Blended? What is the show about? Who wants to tell us? Well, Ranelle, you wrote it, so tell us what it's about.
So, Blended, the backstory, I was asked to write this show before the pandemic. I was asked to come up with a concept that would appeal to, a broad spectrum audience and also cover topics and in that specific topics. And in this one, what we have is we have 2 families. We have a white family and a black family. And the two the two females are best friends for years through college and everything, meeting their loves, having their children, growing their families, to the point that they're each godparents for the other's children. And in our story, we deal with kind of a reverse take on stereotypes, but the white family is tragically killed in the first episode, and that leaves the other family. They're the godparents. Their child has survived, and she's not okay. She's in the hospital, and you don't know if she's going to make it. And they're going through this process, remembering how they, I always cry, but how they became to be family, chosen family. And you're remembering some beautiful, bittersweet things while you're brought back to modern day, while they're sitting at her bedside. They're dealing with family, not just her grandparents, who are very, very racist, not the kind of people you want to have dinner with, but also their own family, questioning their choices to bring this child into their home, to become a part of it. And right now our main goal is to tell the whole story, which is a lot more there's a lot of mystery and things like that. It wasn't an accident. They were murdered. There's all of these dynamics that come into play. And if you love like This Is Us or A Million Little Things, hopefully we're going to fill that void, because those shows aren't on the air anymore. So
I absolutely love This Is Us.
It's
I'm
so
telling you,
good.
I mean,
Yes.
love. So
oh, I love that.
You're
Yeah.
doing a something that's kind of similar. I'm all aboard.
Yeah, it's just nice to get the roller coaster, right? Because like the present day of this show is heavy and dark, and it's going through the stages of grief, but like because you get all these time jumps, you get that kind of lighthearted, you can come through the roller coaster. It's not just all, sad and depressing. You get all these like light, sweet moments because of that concept of being able to come forward and back in time.
Yeah, I love it. And another question for you, Ranelle. Why is this show so important for you to get out?
So this isn't exactly the same thing, but some of the elements in this show were taken from my life. So my kid's father is from India, and some of the things that happened to them when they were little, like I'm going to show my age here, but we were in a Payless shoe store, and this is one of the stories that inspires me for this. My daughter was 2, and she was trying on shoes with her very Indian father, and she was done. So she started screaming, help me, no. Everyone came running thinking she was being kidnapped or abducted.
Oh, wow.
And that was back then. There were no cell phones. There were no, anything like that. And the store staff was freaking out. Well, thankfully back then we had hanging keychains with pictures of the whole family on there, kind of thing. And we're like, no, this is her dad. But that was one moment. There was another moment in a Air Force museum where literally, because she was ripped off of a ride because they saw her and they saw her dad, and this old man came and took her physically off of an airplane. She was a toddler, so she was probably 3 or 4. But we had all these little things happen through life. And when I was asked to write this story, having had that type of exposure, and my family's they're everyone from everywhere, not just with my particular family, but extended. And so I drew upon all of that, and I realized it would be really nice to tell, I'm trying to be tactful in how I say things here, but to tell a story that wasn't just the white savior saving a child, a black child or something like that, but to tell it the other way around, because love is love, and it can happen in any direction, upside, downside, with anyone. And that's kind of our main purpose in this show, is that first and foremost, and then entertainment second. So
I love it. Really good concept as well. Troy, tell me about your character.
Yeah, so Ty is he had a lot of similarities to myself actually in real life. Just kind of his upbringing, kind of having a 2-parent household, coming up in love, and going off to college, and making something of himself. In this storyline, he's kind of the glue. He's kind of the anchor for everyone. So there's a lot of things that happen like very fast, and he's trying to keep everyone together while keeping his sanity at the same time. So that's really his conflict in the whole story. And, just kind of finding out, like, what do we do with this next chapter? Having so many unknowns on how these things are going to go, but just he moves off of faith, though, so he kind of has a very deep spiritual connection. And, he realizes that that's the source to get through whatever it is you have going on. So, he really has to tap into his faith. His faith is challenged, with some of the things that happens. But at the same time, that's really what he is. But he's a great friend. He's very resourceful, very loving. And, he's a person that really just looks for the values and the morals in people. And that's how he connects with them. So he doesn't really see race or anything like that. So his best friend, who is Tony, played by Caleb Radcliffe, they're like brothers. And what the cool thing is, Sydney, played by Chelsea, I think the moment we met on set, we all kind of had like that instant connection, like we had knew each other. And, it really helped out as we were filming, because it was like, man, this is really my homeboy. This is really my homegirl. Like, I feel like I've known them for so long. And the chemistry was very real.
I love it. Chelsea, tell me about your character.
So my character is Sydney Wallace, and yeah, I feel like I have a lot in common with her too. She's very like fun loving and full of life, and I think you get to like really see that in this first episode, because it's you get to see what's missing when she's gone. But she like loves fiercely and unapologetically. And I will follow up with Troy and just say, like, the cast was amazing. Like, Troy's an incredible actor. I mean, he brought like so much passion to this project. And when you read a script, especially when you're working on like a smaller budget and you're just not sure, like it really is like, it's up to the actors to have a certain professionalism, but also like bring in so much, because when you're working on a smaller budget, it's a lot more about like the actor intensity and how they dial that up and down. And like, Troy just like really did an incredible job. I remember like leaving that project and being like, wow, like I feel like, like the caliber of acting was just great. It was really good. And you don't always find that. So it was a perfect blend of people on the project.
Well, I think this sums up everything by playing the trailer. So let's look at this trailer.
Yeah.
We're so confused, Ty. I'm scared to have this conversation with them.
Just have to take this one day at a time.
Found unresponsive, but her situation's extremely critical.
A white child. Who knows how it's gonna go over in the neighborhood, school, church?
Can't worry about all those things.
His parents already filed a petition.
Ty, we have to.
Grandparents' rights, custody rights.
Like, the bodies aren't even cold yet.
People can be so cruel.
Not my parents. I can't have them around my child.
I want to protect our kids and Emily from whoever tries to harass her.
There is no way I will allow Emily to live with people like you.
Emily is in the ICU.
You need to worry about your own family and your own job, not somebody else's kid.
Daddy, she needs us.
What can we do to help her?
Wow.
Let's
so
go.
emotional.
Yeah, that was wow. That's powerful. Just off the trailer. That makes me absolutely want to tune in to this project. So kudos, congratulations. I'm looking, when is the project projected to come out?
So right now what we're doing is we have a premiere on March 1st. And then we have some meetings where we're meeting with investors, and we've just started like getting ready to pitch it. We finished the pilot. So we're working on it. We're really hoping we can find a home. And the main goal is to actually raise the funds to get it fully made here in Florida, if possible. And then from there, package it and take it and sell it as a fully produced series, because one of the things that we're facing, and this is just how this industry is we're getting some opening those doors requires a lot of knocking. And sometimes they're like, well, do you have Brad Pitt in there? And if we can't say yes, they're like, well, we don't want to talk to you. So, we're in that phase right now where hopefully we can get it out. It's going starting next month on a film festival run. So hopefully we'll win some awards from the amazing talent that is in there, because my goal is to keep my couples. I love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to keep the children and people like that. But if we don't get it picked up fast enough, they all grow up really fast. But that is the goal. That is the dream. And these two are really pivotal in this team. So they're both associate producers on the project too. And been helping us, as much as they possibly can. So
nice. Chelsea, what has been your most memorable moment on set so far?
There's two, I guess. I loved Saoirse, the little girl that played my daughter. She was just so incredible, and she was very professional and like knew all of her lines, knew all of her marks. And it she wasn't like a shy kid. She just was zoned into working. And it was really fun to like kind of crack her open and get the kid out, right? Because she showed up to work and she was like, no playing, no whatever. So by, a couple of days of working with her, when I could finally get her to, tease around and make jokes, like that was totally a highlight. She was such a cutie. And I just got to work with her again for a day on another project with Ranelle. And that's like always the best when you get to have that sense of home. But I will say that working with Nimi was pretty incredible too. Like she just instantly felt like a best friend, and just, every set you come away with something, right? Like maybe it's that you trauma bond with someone, right? Like every set has something that happens that you're like, that either you learn a new skill, or you learn something about yourself, or what you like or what you don't like. And I feel like Nimi's friendship and getting to act with her was really special for me and a big takeaway.
Okay. And Troy, this is one of those films that definitely people of color, I think, are going to be like, oh my God, because I mean, it's dramatic having you're now going to possibly care for, this white child and all this type of stuff. What was some of the challenges for you tapping into your character?
I think it was just more so finding the motivation as to why I'm doing this, in every scene, just really digging deep to find that. And like my family in the film, they're not necessarily on board with that, so I shouldn't do it on this side, but I promised my best friends who are like family on this side that I would. So it's almost just kind of remembering why I said I was going to do what I said I was going to do, and just remembering the relationship we had, and then just kind of putting the girl first, like she's going to, because the guy Tony, who plays my best friend, he doesn't have the best relationship with his parents because of the way they raised him, and he doesn't want his daughter to be raised like that. So it's more so just seeing the bigger picture and remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I think that was the biggest challenge for me, because it was just kind of like that internal conflict, like my family is doing this, I'm going to have to put all this stuff that I've worked for on hold to do this, to focus on this. Can I even do this? But it's the right thing for me to do. I felt like it was at one point. Now I don't know, so it's just kind of trying to find that confirmation. So that was like my real struggle, playing this character, and, just, like just those mental ping pongs that I was having as a character.
Ranelle, let's talk about casting. How did you go about casting? Did you contact people you already knew? People had to send in auditions? What happened?
So it was funny because I had been wanting to work with Troy for a really long time. And we had this project set that I had filmed almost all of it, and then COVID hit us. And it fizzled hard. And it was an action thing. And I had asked Troy when I saw his audition tape for that, would he want to ever do a role like this? Like there was just something about Troy, I could see it. And I had a film festival that I ran for 6 years or something, and then other people started to run it. But I had seen him in, what was it called? The Book of the Prophet. No.
The book False Prophet.
Sorry, I'm old. Yes, the book. Yes, that one. I had seen him in that too. And I'm like, and I just saw something in him when I wrote this and when I met him. And I was like, do you want to do this? And then he was busy doing other things, and I was afraid to go back and ask him. But somehow either you reached back out to me, or I was just like, I cannot cuss on the show. Sorry. I just was like, I got to see if Troy could do it. And it worked out for him. Chelsea, I have adored her for a few years and wanted to work with her. Like, it was a no-brainer on Chelsea. And then for Nimi, I knew her too. And I felt like I knew her as an actress, but also as a mom in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like, I asked her, but I made her audition as well. And then Caleb was interesting, who played Tony, because he came to me and he didn't really have like lots of credits. And I wanted this country boy. You'd never expect him to be like best friends with this guy. And, I wanted him to have like this typical American boy from a small town look kind of vibe or something. But I was like, I don't know. But when he auditioned, I was like, oh my gosh. So he was like in the top 2 or 3, but then I had them do a chemistry read and I just knew it. I was like, whoa, I could just see it. He's very warm and charming, and put the two of them together, and it was amazing. And then I don't remember, Chelsea, did I do chemistry read with you and Nimi? Did I?
No.
I don't think I could, because you guys are so busy.
Yeah.
But I could see them together, and it worked out beautifully. And then everyone else I made audition. And I pick people that I can see that passion, or that I know are going to be directable.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, I get what I want out of the talent. There's always one person and I'm like, I'm not sure, but on Blended, we were so blessed and lucky. And I mean, there might've been one person that was an extra with no consequential lines to mention that I was like, why? But other than that, it was beautiful. So we were really blessed. So did I say that tactfully? There was one person doing makeup, and they were just sitting in the back, like, they wanted a dressing room even. I'm like, come on, you're an extra. So, I learned something. Yeah.
Where was this film shot?
We shot it all in Orlando, Central Florida, and a couple of locations all around here. And we do hope, if the show gets picked up, that we could stay here. And our Tri-County area is actually trying to bring incentives to at least, the 3 main counties that Orlando, Disney, SeaWorld, Universal are in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a possibility, but honestly, the important part is telling the story. And I think they would agree, if we got picked up and it had to be made somewhere else, we would absolutely go where we needed to go to make a beautiful story. So, and we want to expand like our writing team. We want to make sure we have a diverse team behind the lens too, so that all voices are represented, not just black and white, but all ages and all people. So yeah,
I love it. And Chelsea, you live in LA?
I am in Los Angeles, and it's raining pretty hard here now. But yeah, I'm in Los Angeles, but I work all over. I just chase the jobs wherever they are. So.
Okay. And Troy, where are you, in Florida, or where are you?
I'm actually in Central Florida. Yep.
Okay.
So it was it was right in my backyard. So it was
You got to sleep in your own bed.
Right. I used to live in Tampa for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
About Florida.
Oh, nice.
Tampa's nice. It is nice. I grew up there. I like Tampa.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So what's your plans for if it doesn't get picked up by a major and you put it out independently? What are your plans for marketing?
So we're talking through all that right now, because if we do get an investor to make the series, we have it budgeted. Like, we would love $300K per episode kind of thing, but a huge chunk of that budget, like 20%, will be held back for marketing. And a goal we could possibly have is to self-distribute through, there's Indie Rights, there's Film Hub, or hope to get picked up and be put on like Tubi. I would love to have this show on Tubi where everyone can watch it for free. So I'm always looking like, who are the content VPs, the people on all of those types of networks. But a dream would be to end up on like Hulu or Netflix, which, it does all, whether we make it or someone picks us up and wants us to continue to be a part of it, it all boils down to money. That's the evil of, and also the benefit of this industry. So the money gets you the better talent. The money gets you all of these, marketing and promotions. And I know in the past I released a little series that was like no budget, and I ended up on Amazon back when we could still put things on Amazon. And I did billboard campaigns and things like that. And that made a difference. And that was my supernatural for kids type of series. And while I was doing those things, it makes a difference. And marketing is so critical. I would probably need the help of some experts to make sure we have our ducks in the row and the budget where it needs to be. We're only as strong as our team, and that is not my area. I need a good team member for that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Chelsea, this isn't blended related, but how do you, as an actress, break through the noise? I mean, there's a million actresses out there and actors. How do you break through that noise?
I give this advice quite often, but when you are on a job, the way to get brought back to more jobs is you just show up and you are normal and easy to work with, right? Like if you know your lines, that's a bonus, right? That's a cherry on top. If you are a good actress, I mean, that's even now you're really batting out of the park there. But really, like so many of the projects that I work on, like there's one production company I think I've done 10 or 11 films with. So it's like, you show up, you're normal, you're humble, you're happy to be there, you don't complain, and you just like are part of the collaborative process. And even on the biggest sets, the biggest ones, like on the lot, like it still matters. It's still, if you just show up and if somebody's like, oh, we need to bump you out of this chair and have you go through whatever, the second that you show any resistance or you're hard to work with, like people all remember that because it's such a perfect storm that comes together. All these people on set all have these overlapping jobs, and like, yeah, I just try to be like so grateful for every job that I'm on. I try to do the best that I can, but really I try to keep it like light and fun. And if somebody wants my ideas, I give them freely. And if they don't, then I, stay quiet and just spit out my lines. But that really to me is like how I've been able to be a full-time working actress instead of just someone who occasionally acts in something here and there.
She's not kidding either. On set, she is so chill and prepared at the same time. And everybody, like when I think of who I want on like future projects, Chelsea's name is always right up there. She's done 2 with me now, but it's for the very reason that she's saying, like having her there is a blessing. The morale is really important to me. I'm too old for nonsense and attitudes. And Chelsea's the kind of person you want there. And so is Troy. So
I was reading their IMDb's. I was like, okay. I write and produce and direct and
you act too. I saw it.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that it's her music? You well, Chelsea, you haven't seen it yet, but for our opening on our show, it's her music.
Oh no,
it's amazing. I love that song. Yes.
Yeah, that's fire. Fire, very soulful. I just told Ranelle the soundtrack is fire.
Thank you.
So absolutely, it definitely adds some it adds a lot of value to the definitely to the opening for sure.
Oh, that's so dope. I cannot.
Yeah, I was trying to find it, like to share it with everyone, like publicly, but I couldn't find it yet. But you have a few in our pilot. There's a few in there.
3 songs in your project, so I'm.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. We're grateful.
Troy, this is non-blended related, but actor related. How do you handle the rejections? Because people audition all the time.
I mean, that's a great question that, it comes up a lot. And I guess it's just more so, it's a numbers game, so I think just kind of going in, you just already have to know that you're going to, until you get to the point where you no longer have to audition, if you're fortunate enough to get to that point. When you're auditioning, you're probably going to book less or get rejected more than you book, especially starting off. That's just the way that it goes. I think it kind of goes to what Chelsea was just saying. One of the ways I look at it is when I do book something, like that level of appreciation that I have for that, it's like this may be the only role I booked this year.
Right.
Like you just never know. As you move up in the industry, it becomes harder to book roles. You're going against more competition. That's just the way it goes in most industries. So I think just having that appreciation and putting your all into it, like don't go on there and half step on something. Like truly come prepared, ready to work and know the story that you're telling. And I think that really helps me. Me having like an athletic background, we go through rejection a lot. So, I kind of came up just with thick skin. So I guess what would bother a lot of people doesn't bother me as much. But I also say you have to know your why. And I know that kind of sounds cliche, but you have to just kind of know why you're doing it. I have a lot of faith. So I'm going to book the things that I'm supposed to book.
Mhm.
And, if I didn't book this, it wasn't for me. Now, again, that's me knowing that I did the work, though. I put my best foot forward. Now, if you just, half step and your auditions are pretty, like, mediocre, then that's on you, but if I know I put my best foot forward, then I just know that, as long as I keep training, as long as I'm steady, studying and learning more about myself and being very realistic with myself, then eventually, I'm going to book the things that are meant for me to book. And that's kind of how I, kind of just stayed with tunnel vision, in my 9 years being in the craft. That's kind of what's worked for me. So I just don't let it get to me.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that once I started casting and directing and producing films, and I'm now on the other side of it, and I'm looking at the different people that's submitting, their castings and their auditions and stuff like that. I had to realize that you can't take being rejected as you can't take it personal, because sometimes you might have done a great audition, but that role just doesn't fit, because you're not only looking at what their role is, but you're also comparing it. Like if it's a couple, you now have to see, does that person look good with this person? Is that going to make it believable? There's so many
Yeah.
different elements and things that you look at that people don't understand. So Ranelle, talk a little bit about casting and what you look for in casting.
So casting, ironically, is probably one of the hardest parts about producing. And I've got about 40 things under my belt that I've directed and cast. But the thing, and I did stage before that.
Me too.
Oh, I love that. You're amazing. But the thing that's, really hard is you can't pick everyone.
Mhm.
And I know at times when I first started, like somebody would have an amazing audition and I would be like, could I write them in? Where could I put them? Because you have this tremendous guilt that maybe you can't cast them. But when I'm casting like families, sisters, like we just did our Christmas film Rekindled, I had Chelsea with Grace Field. They looked alike. I looked for chins, arches of your eyes. I need, the shape of your nose, the color of your hair. Like, are you going to be a believable family?
Right.
And the hardest one is rejecting the kids because they don't always understand. You might not look like mom or dad. Now, if it's an adoption thing, it's a different story. But usually it's, I need you to look like you're blood relatives.
Right.
And it's very difficult for me on that side to not be able to tell everyone yes, because I know it hurts them. And often now when I do casting calls, I will say, you will be contacted if you're getting a call back, because it's so hard to send out all of those rejection letters, because you could get hundreds and then, you're only picking 2.
Right.
It's one of the hardest parts. I kind of like the other stuff better, but I do still love casting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand it.
Yeah.
I've even had times where I had one character on my project where I only wrote her a small scene or a small part, and she came on to the scene, and I mean, did so amazing that I wrote more and more
Oh,
parts for
wow.
her. Yeah, like she did really, really good to the
Yeah,
point where
I'll throw them lines. I'll be like, say some more, do some more, you know, or maybe there's a scene they weren't in, and I'll be like, you know what, you need to show up because it makes your show better, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the storytellers that are in front of the camera as much as everything behind. You guys make the show real. So I love that. It's cool.
Okay, so March 1st is going to be your big debut. And that's going to be in Florida, or
It's in Florida at the what's it called, Troy? Premiere
Premier
Cinemas? I
Cinema
forgot.
14. I think it's Premier Cinema 14.
Yeah.
It's part of the Fashion Square Mall.
Okay. And how can people that's in Florida get access to be able to come purchase tickets or whatever?
For those in Florida, there's a few tickets left, not a lot, maybe 20. It's they go to eventbrite.com and look for Blended, and they should find it. So,
And they can also look on our on the Blended social media pages. We have the link, the direct link on there as well. So just on social media.
And your social media is just called Blended, or how is it called?
Let's see, Instagram
Blended TV series on Facebook and Instagram. It's Blended TV series.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys have heard it first. They are looking for investors for their project. They're looking for distribution. So how can they get in contact with you, Ranelle, if they want to hear more?
They can email me at should I give that out here? I don't know. They can go to our website and link me there, which is www.macrovisionfilms.com. Here's my phone number. Sorry.
Might as well give them the social and everything. Might as well give them the social.
His information. I think he's better suited for handling everything. Yeah, no, they can reach out via the website. They can email me too at rgolden at macrovisionfilms.com. And yeah, I mean, I'll get right back to them. We would love to build our team with the people that can help make this happen. It's a good story, I hope.
Give me the website one more time.
www.macrovisionfilms.com.
Okay, so now everybody, I know how to reach them. Y'all know their socials, and you know the website. So if you are interested in working on this project, investing in this project, they have some amazing people in this project. Definitely get in contact with them. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be on Transparency Talks podcast. I truly appreciated this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
having me. Thank you so much.
No problem. So with that, everybody, we are out of here, and we're going to talk to you guys later. Peace out, y'all.
Bye,
y'all
guys.
Stay on, but bye, y'all.
Bye.